Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to more BTS series action. We're supposed to unmute before I go to the camera. I was a little too fast on that one. It's fine. People like seeing us hit buttons.
Yep.
All right, so we have Game 2 of the Greeks at Finem taking on Power Rangers. Game 1 was pretty fast. Actually, one of the more faster games I've seen in this series so far, or in this whole BTS season, Europe series. Whew, it's going to be a long game.
Yeah.
At Finem, I mean, came in here, I was gloating. I was like, I love these guys. They come to play. I mean, I'll be honest, they looked a little rusty for game number 1. I know they had some games under their belt for this Dota season, but that's not the Greeks I saw before.
No, they just weren't really able to take control of the map early on. Obviously, MNT is most renowned for that. Playing a silencer is like, okay, if you trade, you can get the intellect stats or intelligence stats, which can help out quite a bit in terms of your ability to take fights and such. And I think the global was theoretically the right skill to counteract the Naga's song. The problem was just that they couldn't find their timings.
Yeah.
It was PR who were able to take the early rush, early movement across the map, and just pressure towers before things like Skylark's Blink came up. That got delayed like 3 or 4 different times repeatedly to the point that he was almost irrelevant by the time it was online. So they just kind of need to shore up a few different aspects of their laning configuration and make sure that each and every one of the cores has some prioritization of farm.
Here we hop into the draft for game number 2, and we'll have to see how frugal and precious that these teams will set up ultis for themselves in round number 2 here. With the first pick of game 2, Ad Finem opt for the precious Shadow Demon. Power Rangers retort with their own Elder Titan Sand King combo, and then back the other way as Ad Finem will secure themselves the Darkseer. Now that, you're asking me to start, what's a classic Skylark hero? Darkseer is a pretty classic Skylark hero.
Yeah, he has played that actually, I think, the most of any hero. And,
yeah.
Already having a lot of illusions to play around with here with the disruption with the wall replica. So, Elder Titan, the way he enhances his damage through natural order, you all generally want to go for like a late game right clicker, and Shadow Demon and Darkseer have a response for that in 2 abilities. So that's going to be quite well. Of course, the fact that the Oracle is already banned out makes the Darkseer pick a little bit easier. We could still very well see a Disruptor pickup. While the Kunkka can't X the Darkseer during Surge, the Disruptor in the right position can glimpse him back.
Why not just like the support Naga again? That's pretty good against the Darkseer in the lane too. You have the net to be able to prevent the Surge away. I don't know. Power Rangers seem to be one of the only teams kind of in this region that still go back for like a support Naga play. But I'm also a huge fan of the Disruptor, and it could work out very, very nicely. Plus, the crowd control he brings is immense.
Absolutely. So I definitely think that is going to be more team fight oriented for Ad Finem, and PR already have that pretty well under their belts. So I think that choke points are going to be really important here. As you see PR this time on the Radiant side, they're going to be the ones to look to maybe drop a Earth Splitter deep into the Roche Pit and into the steps by the Dire Ancients, and try to find those different angles of engagement where they can really make the most of their AoE-centric abilities. But in the end, their bans are quite peculiar, banning out the Luna and the Huskar. I guess the way that they were looking at the draft, if there was like a Dazzle or an Omni-Knight or something picked up that allows the Huskar to thrive, they already have a lot of magic damage, and they don't have a great answer for the Huskar. But end of the day, they go for the Disruptor we were talking about, has the ability to zone out the Darkseer and force him to essentially jungle. Not necessarily at the beginning of the lanes, because Disruptor starts off with Thunderstrike, but at about level 3, the Darkseer has to be very afraid of approaching the lane aggressively.
That definitely was a nice call there too. The response, and something that I thought Power Rangers may have possibly considered for themselves. I know they already made a commitment for the Sand King, but Ad Finem are going to be going back for the Faceless Void here, and it looks like they are going to be going back for the Madara Faceless Void.
I was just about to call Morphling too. I think this Zero is so good here. Yeah, you're up against Shadow Demon. It's unfortunate that you get disrupted, but like you're up against Darkseer Void. Like they're about forcing big abilities into one small space. They're vacuuming, they're chronosphering, and you're a Morphling. You don't care. You get to Strength Morph through all that. So just like we saw the Alchemist in that matchup involving Kaipi, now they pick up the Morphling, which I think is just so perfect here. Even Axe is like, generally speaking, you look at Glass Cannon carries and you say, as soon as Axe gets Blink Blade Mail, he can tear them apart. But Morphling fits the bill of a super squishy Glass Cannon carry combined with one of the most durable heroes in the game. It's just about how he allocates his strength and his agility with his morph. So what he can do is anytime he gets called, he's gonna morph to strength, and he's gonna be taking a lot of damage at first, but he's also gonna have a lot of armor to mitigate it, and then he's gonna be getting that HP back over the course of the fight. So now they don't have the burst potential for the Morphling. They do have some control, but they need a silence or something. They need, I guess, a lion would be the pick here. Or go for the, well, that would leave a mid-axe.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like, they get this axe now, and you can't help but feel like, what are they doing? Something's funky. I see 3 offlaners in the middle of their phase, and now with the Invoker coming out, that's a greedy 4-position axe, I'd imagine.
Oh, yeah, it had to be. Unless you like find a really good matchup for axe mid, which I think Templar Assassin is okay, because you can Battle Hunger and spin on her, and that's all right, and other melee heroes can work. Generally speaking, axe mid isn't anywhere near the top of the list, and that leaves him to the jungle because the Darkseer is offlaning, and the Madara is going to be taking that void to the safe lane again. So I think there's good potential now with the exhort damage to burst down the Morphling, but if he lives through the first few seconds of the fight, you're going to have some trouble. So I'm going to look more so for Shadow Demon and Invoker, the Disruption, Soul Catcher, Sunstrike, all that combined together to make things happen early on the map, or it's going to be Power Rangers to get the farm they need to really break through at Venom's lineup.
We'll have to see what Power Rangers want to get for their final piece of the puzzle to close out what feels like a pretty confident, strong draft already. Sand King offlane, Elder Titan Disruptor duo, and a Morphling. We need a mid laner to possibly match up against this Invoker. They themselves have banned out the OD.
Tinker!
They're going to go Tinker! First Tinker I'll get to witness here for the BTS Europe Series. And with that kind of pressure now, a Tinker and a Morphling late game is something I don't want to really get into. And an Afo Ninja Tinker. Why does that sound so like familiar to me? That's a popular hero for him. Was he the guy who was doing the Tinker Yules and doing the like infinite like Yules up march, Yules up march? I want to say it was him.
Interesting. Yeah, it definitely is possible. I'm not too sure myself, but like I have seen him play the hero for sure, and more commonly you're going to see the Aghanim's Ether and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that he's in no matter how familiar we are with the hero, which I do believe he's played it quite a bit, it's still going to be a great game for it. Like, you don't have your classic counters, I don't know, Nyx Assassin's, Clockworks, whoever, that will find you in the trees. The worst thing that can happen is Axe Blink calls you, and if he walks through March just one little tiptoe, then he's not going to be able to blink on you. So I think that in general, Tinker's going to have a really good game here. And
it was definitely a pub build, and I wanted to look for my own curiosity, and I happened to YouTube Dota Afo Ninja Tinker, and it is the top video
Permanent
right
Cyclone,
now.
all right.
Permanent Cyclone. If you guys want to see what I'm talking about, you can go Google it or YouTube it or whatever right now. Dota Afo Ninja Tinker. This guy plays a damn good Tinker, and yeah, that's obviously more of a pub, fun, flashy kind of a thing. You never know. Nonetheless, we should be in for a hell of a show. This is game number 2 of our 2-game series as we work our way through the group stage of the BTS Europe Series. We're about halfway through it now, and this is at Finem, their first series of the tournament, and they're already down 1 game, hoping to at least walk away with 1 point. If Power Rangers can walk away with this with 2 wins, I'm pretty sure that means that, KotLGuy are out. I mean, they definitely can't take the top spot, I'd imagine. With a 0-2 and a 1-1, that's not going to be good enough.
Exactly.
So KotLGuy are going to be watching from the sidelines right now. They're rooting for Ad Finem.
Yeah, definitely. Not when they face them tomorrow, but
no.
At least for now, Ad Finem are their boys. But we're actually seeing a Quas-Wex Invoker here. This actually could change things up a little bit. It's a lot easier to catch Tinker with a long-range Tornado.
Yeah, and you have this and the potential to move into the Orchid, and that helps against the Morphling.
Morphling, yeah, there's the silence that you're looking for. That actually could really work. It depends how quickly a Big Dumb is able to farm up a Linked Sphere, of course, but then you maybe waste a Cold Snap and still get the Orchid out anyway. So I think that it could be quite the effective build-up here for Thug, and I definitely prefer it over the Exhort. Like, I know I pumped up the Shadow Demon combo, the Disruption, Soul Catcher, and the Sunstrike, but I do feel like while you miss out on that opportunity and you can't Sunstrike Chronos either, you do get the added benefit of being able to EMP and Tornado at very long range, and that should shore up some of your weaknesses against the Tinker. So, well,
I'm not a big Invoker player personally, but just based on what I witnessed, with a commitment, which I love to see here, going for that Quas-Wex kind of a build-up, it's almost, they have to make it work or not. Like I don't know, what's the saying? Fight or fly? I don't know, but if it doesn't seem to work out in the farm department, the recovery options don't seem as prominent as a Quas-Exor who can use Force Spirits, move around and farm. Wow. First blood action actually happening. A deep dive through the trees to creep in from behind. They get a snipe on them maybe next time. The Disruptor goes down. Another aggro lane from PR starting off pretty successful.
And that's just a full-on solo play from Gotham. You see that not only is there no passive on Cheshire Cat, but he hasn't even Burrow Strike once. He's full mana. So this was just straight up him walking down the Shadow Demon with this Astral Spirit, getting some good increased movement here as he actually hit the Astral Spirit on the easy camp. 3 ghosts, 3 extra units to give him that movement speed and attack damage, and he's able to kill off the Shadow Demon, who is trying to be all fancy with his footwork on using the Shadow Poison. Shadow Poison is great in a zoning situation, 2 versus 1, 3 versus 1. Well, actually, you want Disruption for 3 versus 1 so you can set up kills, but in a zoning situation, 2v1, Shadow Poison is great. But trading hits here with a hero that's going to be more aggressive with you with Boots and Windlace early on, it's actually a very dangerous situation to be in. So, got him, just is able to really control and dominate the top lane. And I was going to make a note of this before we got into a few of the other points of discussion, but look at the early warding that came out from Finem. They put a Dire Observer ward on the top rune area and as a top lane location. They got these out as soon as they could. This showed to me that they were very worried about the Axis jungle being invaded, the top lane being contested heavily, and guess what? That's exactly what's happening. We've got Cheshire Cat and Gotham on the move. Maybe they're not punishing the Axe right now, but they are making it very difficult for the Faceless Void to feel safe.
Yeah, and with them being able to keep tabs between both the top lane and along the bottom there, or along the jungle as well, it's causing Finem to be a bit uneasy through this laning phase, and I don't really blame him for it. And that uneasy feeling even continues towards the mid lane. 16-5 on your Tinker to Invoker's 10-1. Afro Ninja had been pumping out the laser when possible, and that has proved to be a bit of a problem for Thug in the CS department.
The only problem, though, is he was trying to go for the bottle Courier before 3 minutes, so it's a very, very slow Courier, and a Surge double damage Darkseer is able to bring it down.
Oh, and it happening. Top lane, so close. He goes in. They will be able to get the kill. A disruption under the tower, hoping to get a bit of revenge. He does get a nice little forgiving bash, but it's not going to be enough to get a response play.
Yep, it's going to be really hard for Madara to farm in this situation because just you see the Caustic doing its job. At about this level 2 in Caustic, you're able to put a huge amount of pressure on melee heroes in particular, and Time Walk is only going to do so much if you're also caught inside a Burrow Strike. So that's over a 2-second stun. It's going to make sure the damage sticks, and yeah, Madara has to play very, very far back.
We'll look for what the recovery is going to be for Finem through this laning phase. Things continue to go on the up and up. Touching base with bottom lane now. Big Num, 23 and 15 denies on a Morphling. So he's really taking it to Skylark here, even though he was able to kind of creep in and get that nice little courier kill. He still continues to be put in a very awkward spot. He tries to go for a juke play, but Glimpse is going to be there waiting for him. J4 pulls him all the way back and under into a Thunder Strike. There's the waveform. A few more right clicks could do it. Firefly helps him survive. A new Surge, but it's not going to be enough. He tried his damnedest to be able to make it away from that trouble, but there you see Exhibit A on why Disruptor is just really nice to have against that Darkseer lane.
Meantime, though, Spartan did pick up an Illusion Room, which is actually really good for Axe to farm things up. Is able to clear out a couple of creep camps and then head into the Radiant side of the map with these Raindrops. So he wants essentially unlimited HP and mana through Tranquil Raindrops, and he wants to actually start getting involved. You don't really need the Raindrops for anything else if you're not going to be like battle hungering and jumping on heroes.
Yeah.
So I expect him to actually, when he sees that the Disruptor is a bit weakened by Iron Chill, that he's going to try to make a play.
Okay, they see now J4's going for the pull, and suddenly a Wild Axeman does appear. Spartan has come to play, and the spin does come out. Allows him to get the last little right click in, and he's going to be pushing that much faster to get to that quick level 6, and Axe will try his best to swing the momentum back towards Finem's way.
Yep, and now maybe even starting to creep cut. I'm not sure if Axe has the HP for it, though. He needs to get the Tranquil Boots up soon, but if you get a full HP Axe, you can actually start going past it with the Iron Chill, with the spins, and it's very hard to deal with that contest. But it's going to be Madara that actually ends up going down. Again, you have to be very careful about how you play against the Stand King, and he's just able to combo up the way he needs to really bring the pain. Oh,
Skylark is in so much trouble. He gets locked under the tower. It's going to force Spartan to step in. They're going to give Spartan the Surge, and they'll be forced to actually glimpse back the Axe. This also prompts a new rotation in. It's going to be goddamn under his Elder Titan. He walks right into the 2, but he goes low to a call with a couple of Ion Shells. It's easy pickings right there onto the Elder Titan, and they're looking for more. Big Num could be in a bit of trouble. That Ion Shell does so much work, but it's Skylark who could be taking some bad damage here. It looks like he might be able to step back away, but hi, how you doing? Afro Ninja does show up, zaps him down with the laser, and he's possibly looking for more here. Do they have a secondary glimpse? They don't have the mana for it. Spartan continues to hide back under the tower, and suddenly Thug is showing up to play.
So ladies and gentlemen, when you pick Axe in your pubs, you ping out the jungle, and you're like, yeah, I'm just going to sit here and AFK and farm all the neutral creeps. Think about all the fun you could be having dunking down on dudes by just actually invading a lane. Look at Spartan here. He's your example. This is the guy who makes things happen. He's able to find himself 2 kills in these first 6 or 7 minutes of the game, and they're just going to keep doing this. The double iron shell puts out so much damage.
Courier going to be sniped as Thug makes an approach to the bottom lane from behind here. Makes a move for J4. Nice EMP is going to be able to get rid of all of his precious mana. Cold snap, but not enough of a damage follow-up. Will lead to no casualties here, but a nice little courier snap. That's 2 courier takedowns now on the side of PR.
That poor little donkey, man. They should have gotten a better cosmetic, something
Yeah,
with
for
more
sure.
durability.
I mean, rightfully deserved. You're not going to at least dip into the mighty bank of all those ridiculous courier hats. You get what's coming your way. Behind the tower, Goddamn is able to get off the stomp. Spartan's caught under a bit, and we're going to have full attendance soon. If this keeps up, Spartan is going to get hit up with a stun. They're going to have the EMP to help space it up a bit, and they are going to be able to at least get the Sand King down. They will lose Spartan. Thug gets off a nice 2-man tornado. Big Nub's in trouble. He goes down. And it could be Goddamn next. Iron Shell making chase. Thug still looking to hang around, and now rotation is going to be coming in from the Disruptor. Wall's going to be dropped, but it doesn't catch the mark. Goddamn slips right up and out and over, and comes right back and close enough to hope to get part of the XP, and he will do it. J4 is here, and he helps seal the deal. What a hot mess that's happening here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, absolutely. This has just really hyped up the game for me here as we see both teams going at it. Sankey tries his best to rotate to make something happen, but it just doesn't work out. Now the jump on mid here with a great EMP, still blinding this Void to give him enough distance thanks to the lack of bashes.
Can they finish him off? Ninja doubles back, looking to be by the side of the Morphling, smacks him in the head and takes him down. And now even though he makes it to the high ground, Chase is on though. Big Num is able to kind of make strides. Sends out the replicate. Comes up and over. Madara's running, man.
Yeah, he's so dead. He's so dead.
There's nowhere to go. He gets stomped. Goddamn will take that last hit. And the bloodshed does continue. We're only about 8.5 minutes in with a score of 8-5. Everybody really firing off on all cylinders. With the exception of Shadow Demon, he's just still hanging top.
Yeah, Afro Ninja may be able to showcase some mad maneuvers on the items and the spells, but misclicks a simple walk away, and that's going to actually cost him his life. But they do get the Void in turn. J4 down bottom just gets run down. This Iron Shell Battle Hunger is just really difficult to deal with. You can surge them to get in range for call. You can obviously have so much continuous damage over time. They barely have to exhaust anything to get these kills, and Big Num can't play with high agility. He's actually got to be sitting here about 700 in his HP pool, and still with 2 defensive items in the Ring of Health and Infused Raindrop.
And even now able to easily bully back this Morphling. It certainly kind of forced a situation where PR are stuck in more of a response play, constantly putting people in attendance for wherever this was turning into a new dynamic duo between this Axe and Darkseer are at. And here they go once again. They spot out Goddamn. They look to make their move. They're going to move in. They have the Iron Shell. They have the call. They will drop the Stag Storm, and that will force them back. A glimpse will pull Spartan right back into the arms of Cheshire Cat. Commits him with the stun, and that will allow them to get the kill. And for the rest of Finem, they make their own casual approach here. I don't know if Power Rangers want to pursue, and it looks like they won't.
Yeah, Spartan may be insanely tanky on this Axe, but when you rotate that many heroes down, you're going to be able to get the kill. Very nice little stomp there, setting everything up. But yeah, I feel like PR just, they are scrambling right now, just trying to get their cores back online, because when you look at it, while the team as a whole isn't in that bad of a situation because they've gotten 9 kills to 6, they're still not only trailing on net worth, but their cores are in a really bad spot. The Morphling wants to be in like the top 3 of net worth, absolutely, yeah. And right now 3,400, it makes it a bit rough.
Not cutting it at all. And for the rest of PR, they always need to kind of find a way now to be able to just get their nose to the grindstone and just make up for all the fluster that's been happening here, and it doesn't stop.
Double!
Bottom lane, beautiful 2-man stun set up right there. They are going to be able to get the quick swift finish, taking down Skylark, and the follow-up on the Spartan. Back-to-back takedowns on them. A nice glimpse back could set up a possible another kill here, but it looks like they will not be able to get maybe next time. Now a response, a jump in from Madara. Nice 3-man chrono. Looks to go for the easier target into J4, but not even that's going to be easy. Here comes the Sand King, moving and gets a big burrow strike, and they will finish off Madara. This is not going good for Finem. PR get all the answers they were hoping for in a huge fight that breaks out here in the bottom lane. Taking the names of 3.
And Cheshire Cat even gets out by wanding the tornado. He actually lived with 11 HP, so even the charge, magic wand charge I got from the tornado being cast, he uses it as the tornado comes down and lives with the bare minimum of HP. That's gotta be so painful for Finem as they don't even get that out of it. Losing the Void with the chrono rotation. I mean, my goodness, Power Rangers are just responding to these tough situations really well. And Morphling's right back up there, where he was actually 5th in net worth when the tower went down top. Now suddenly he's jumped up to 2nd place.
Finem, though, they continue to ram their heads into the wall here. Want this fight bad, bottom lane, but now they rush themselves into a bit of a static storm, and they're going to lose Thug. This could go even worse for Finem at this rate. They will lose the one. Spartan hides within the side camp right there. Skylark looking to run back and away. J4 needs mana, though. He cannot get off the glimpse. Does have 4 charges of 1, but doesn't seem like that will be enough. Meanwhile, Spartan, who is hanging on the sidelines, is going to be spotted out now. They pop him with the laser. Amo Ninja eating a lot of damage. They still hold the Culling Blade. It's not going to be necessary. He gets the spin to get the job done. Cheshire Cat then moves in along with Goddamn. It is going to allow them to get the response, taking out the axe. And now comes Madara and Skylark. It looks like they're going to purge up Goddamn and look to go for that kill there. Skylark needs to be careful, though. Vacuum wall needs to stun, but a quick disruption reaction will keep Skylark alive. As he runs right back through his own wall, PR are going to have to withdraw here. They look to run back and away, but Madara is still chasing. 3 seconds for the time walk. Nice one-hit bash. Will help get the kill onto J4. He jumps up and over. Doesn't quite avoid the stomp. But he wants to keep getting the kill. Step back. Okay, now all the bashes from game 1 are starting to come out here.
Yeah. Just banks them up. Game 1, just throw it away. We'll have 0 bashes in the first 10 minutes of the game, and then just get like 100% bash rate right here. No problem. That's the next level strat. It's the full-on, beyond the game PRD.
Apo Ninja, who recently picks up his power treads, casually farms the camp, but is easily spotted now. They move in, and they hammer him down. Spartan's waiting. He gets the KS. Nice dunk right there by him. And they put the Tinker back down into the ground.
Yeah. But despite the really nice prediction for maybe next time on that defensive disruption before the Burrow Strike connected, Cheshire Cat was still able to do so much work in that last fight. It just used like 3 or 4 Burrow Strikes consecutively, hitting at least 1, if not 2 heroes multiple times. Suddenly he's got the Blink Dagger, and they're actually ready to fight. Not bottom necessarily, because that's a death trap.
Wow, that was so close. Almost sketches that Morphling with the call. He does wait for him to make it back and away, but they're already there waiting for him. They hit him up with the disruption. They hit him up with everything they got, and they are going to get the final hit, and it's going to be maybe next time who picks that one up. Spartan will be a nice guy and save the dunk on this one, but here's PR now. Back from the dead. Echo Ninja, route to travel. The rest of his team smoked up, looking for their approach. Dropping down a ward for a little bit of extra vision out in front here. They're going to make the move. There's the blink. The connection is going to be onto the Shadow Demon. They commit a follow-up of a Static Storm too, and that will help them secure it. The 1-for-1 trade between the Morph and Shadow Demon is not going to be enough, and with that, they'll get the glimpse back. It's going to be on Spartan, the big tanky guy. Not good enough. Madara eats the stun, but then we'll be able to walk back and away. Good EMP. Controls the situation and will not allow PR to pursue.
Yeah, but Sand King still has mana, so they're not going to force the issue further on down on the bottom lane. They're going to have to regroup. If they stay down here, they're going to be just trading even at best, and more often than not, just losing out while the Morphling gets to push mid.
Yeah.
But twice now we've actually gotten to see why the Morphling pick is so strong here. And it's just in a really tough situation, when push comes to shove, he can always go to that max strength state. I mean, obviously, if he's silenced, if he's out of mana, this isn't going to happen. But multiple times now he's been able to just soak up so much damage while his team comes in to reinforce. And now, more than reinforcing, it's going onto Madara with a Epi Burrow combo. Not even sure how he had vision for that.
Yeah, I mean, even Madara is pinging up and above, like, guys, they have a ward there for sure, but we're looking at it.
I think what must have happened is you just got a little bit of experience. You keep an eye on your experience bar as you're around neutral creeps. You see it tick up for a reason that shouldn't, and yeah, he makes a blind play that ends up paying out dividends here. Taking down the hard carry solo is here. Cheshire Cat on the Sand King. Again, a great game from him. Slardar into Sand King, now looking for a Burrow bottom.
Spartan spotted within the trees. He gets the call off. It's going to be on Big Num. Can he get some forgiving spins on top of the Iron Shell to be able to get the finish? Not going to be the case with that strength pumping on forward. It looks like they're going to make the move. They get Skylark down. He does drop the wall in time, but might be too little too late. Spartan put up against the wall right now and stunned up. He goes down. That's 2 from Finem that are going to be dropped, and they're looking for more. Thug able to just etch his way out. Barely alive. Runs under the Ghost Walk to make it away.
So, moving forward, suddenly, look at this net worth graph and how much it has shifted over the past, like, 5 minutes. It's absolutely insane. There was so much going for Adfin, they had such an advantage in terms of the raw metrics, the raw numbers. The amount of aggression they put out bottom was paying off heavily. Now we've got 4 members of Power Rangers in the top 3, or 3 members of Power Rangers in the top 4 of net worth. And it just keeps switching. Like, Sand King was the top net worth for a second there. As the kills are meaning everything in this game. They're defining how farm is being distributed and who can accomplish what. It's really all about these kills, all about these early fights. But when I actually look at the lineups as they're progressing, it's actually Power Rangers that also have the greater scaling potential.
Oh, yeah.
ET's Natural Order, the Tinker, the Morphling, with their items, will be able to do some amazing things.
PR doing good now. That's just great. That is just great. And then the pressure builds up for Finem because this was supposed to be their power spike, their big moment here. Axe with that wonderful start, claiming those early 2 kills, you know, allowing him to be able to move into a Blink Dagger possibly sooner than expected. And then once you got Chrono ready to go, I mean, you can go on an absolute tear. But things got very sticky in the bottom half of this map for quite a while. And now suddenly PR are going to be up and ahead when they really don't have to be right now, but they are. And now they move in. Spartan's going to get caught out. They commit the Static Storm, and that will help secure the kill onto the Axe. PR string together a nice extra kill, and the grind of farm will continue. Tinker and Morphling, the beasts continue to grow.
Absolutely, and it's just really difficult for Adfin to corral this at this point. They've got so much mobility now. They've got the Replicate at level 2, so the Big Numb can start stretching out further and further across the lane. He's going to have the Lincoln Sphere coming out shortly, which will make it's so easy for him to go even past towers to farm out waves. Alpha Ninja gets to get this range of initiation through the Blink Dagger he's about to pick up, as well as the fact that he can already TP to an Elder Titan Spirit whenever he wants to.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he can just jump anywhere on the map at any point in time, and Power Rangers are always going to have the heroes to react to a tough spot.
Well, for the umpteenth time, Spartan rushes down to the bottom lane, and so is the rest of Finem, looking for some sort of positive light here. It looks like they've been able to cross paths with the Elder Titan. Goddamn, set to go down with the help of the Purge and the Cold Snap. They do a lot of damage, but even that takes a little bit of extra muscle power, and they will finally get it done. Only one little support, though, from PR that's pretty happy to go ahead and tank any sort of further gank. Well, they step back and out, and for PR, it's just continuing the grind, as you will. And with a blink now in hand, this Apo Ninja Tinker is even more elusive than he once was. It looks like Big Numb has been able to finish probably his next big component, closer to the Abraham Lincoln Sphere. And, you know, then that point, this Morphling becomes even that much harder to be able to bring down.
Yeah, the Void will match that tit for tat, and he will find his own, but I just feel like it's a little bit less relevant for him. Yeah, you won't get glimpsed into a really bad spot like a kinetic static, but in general, like, the Morphling is going to be able to just be so involved in it throughout this game because he has that Lincolns. For example, it will make it much harder for Invoker to go for a combo with his Orchid that he's working towards. He did end up rushing the drums first and then going back for the Orchid, so it delayed it a little bit, and as a result now, you Ghost Walk around with Cold Snap Orchid, and then you invoke an EMP, it's still really hard to pin your target down. And from there, Morphling might even go Manta and make that Orchid useless.
If the timing doesn't line up here, the potential of this Invoker is just not going to be able to shine with the intention that Finem were hoping for when they committed to this kind of pick and this kind of a style build-up on the Invoker himself. So, as it stands, Skylark here in the bottom lane, he's looking to farm up to try to get that Blink Dagger, I'd imagine here. I mean, that is the nice thing. With a commitment to the Darkseer, and you really look at Finem's lineup overall, they have some respectable high ground, but you know, that's not a position they were hoping to be in with the lineup they put together. I mean, the slow sieging capability, the Tinker, the Morphling, they could stall things out, but PR have that kind of capability to just totally starve out Finem if they end up restricting this map. For now, PR have been taking it super easy. They have Tier 1 still all over the place. They haven't really bothered at all following up any sort of skirmish with any sort of objective. They know that if they're controlling the game in kills and resources right now, that they're fine. They'll just continue to skate through easy street here. Bottom lane, there we see the Elder Titan, the TP in, the blink out, lifts all the way back and away here, puts Spartan closer and back towards his team. A bit of a misfire there, but here comes Cheshire Cat leading an epicenter, leads to them getting caught by 2. Both will be time dilated, vacuum backed in further under the wall, and it will allow Finem to quickly skate out the 2 important targets from PR. Is this going to be Adfinem's time to really shine here? They get a good connection with the Tornado, and it will lead to success as they also get the takedown of the Elder Titan. A double kill for Thug. Adfinem finally get some swing back their way after what feels like about 10 minutes time. They will not be able to make catch here. It looks like for Cheshire Cat, Power Rangers will lose 3. Finem will take the rubber band swing.
Well, I'm a big enough man to admit when I was wrong, and Madara's Lincoln Sphere has actually just done so much right there. The fact that he didn't get Burrow Strike inside that epicenter and didn't have to go in full retreat allowed him to get an insane Chronosphere off on the back line so that the rest of his team could keep focusing on the morphing of the Tinker. The Tinker kind of jumped right into the middle of it on an ET Spirit. The Morphling waveform deep in there too, and they just got absolutely destroyed by everybody. While for the remainder of PR, we're stuck focusing this Faceless Void that just could not be tamed.
Yep.
So Madara benefits so much from this item, not necessarily in the playstyle shift, but in this case in the combat. And from there, they need every fight that they can take because they need to start pushing towers, and they don't have the best heroes for it.
Options are coming together, though, for PR to be able to help for situations like that. We have a Yules for Goddamn that's going to be there soon. Could help throw up any sort of Faceless Void who happens to get off that precious Chrono, and obviously will help him quite a bit with the move speed department. Madara in the top lane will be able to deny the tower, but not get the catch for any sort of PR. Uh-oh, we have trouble. J4, look at this, creeping in from behind. They've been able to spot out Thug. Both him and Madara caught under the Stag Storm and silenced up a bit. They're able to burst down Thug. Madara gets off the time dilation. Spartan jumps in, does get the execution onto the Disruptor, but still a 1-for-1 trade that Finem are going to have to get the bad end of.
Very nice find for Power Rangers. Unfortunately not getting the tower with their big rotation top, but again, they still kind of in this neutral space are able to farm more and get more out of it, as we're going to see the graph start swinging back the other way. We're at Finem. Last great play set them up for a big net worth swing. We're going to see it go back down to 0, and that's the thing that Power Rangers want to keep happening for the remainder of the game until they're eventually able to, they're big enough to just take the game by its handles. But one thing that I will mention is that I actually don't feel that Power Rangers are itemizing all that well against the Wex Invoker. They've actually got 3 heroes that could go Arcane Boots and are all going Tranquils. So 3 heroes with Tranquil Boots, and none of them have a mana pool higher than like 700. So the Invoker is going to, with one really good EMP, like, you think about like the strength of like a Silencer because it's able to make abilities not happen. Well, when you could just take an entire hero's mana pool, that hero is silenced until he fixes that or he dies. So, like, just taking out these abilities with the EMP is a really big deal, and they're relying so heavily on their magic wands to fix this.
Spartan caught out with a nice little Sand King stun, leads to stop setup and leads to destruction, as the epicenter will be the emphatic exclamation point for that one. And that means that the rest of PR could possibly move this in for their second objective takedown in this Tier 1 in the bottom lane. We'll have to see if Finem are going to go for a response play or not. Thug is already waiting in the sides, but yeah, as mentioned, that Spirit continues to run around and scout anything of anyone on the side of Finem, trying to creep in with any sort of surprise attack, but that is still there. Madara now waiting in the wings. Has that Chrono. There's the jump from Cheshire Cat. Moves in for Thug. Thug's able to get off the Tornado. Big Earth Splitter does fly forward. Helps get the finish onto Thug. There's Madara looking to move in. Will be able to get the grab on the Tinker, locking him under that Chrono Sphere. Cheshire Cat looking to make chase. Trying to get the hold of maybe next time. He'll run inside the pit. Can he juke within and out? He even tries to. Cheshire Cat hides under the Sandstorm. Eventually will catch him with the stun and be able to finish him off. While down and below, chase is still being had. Finem looking to run in for Big Num. Big Num trading in for all the strength he can. Nice little glimpse back will stop Madara from pursuit. And at the end of the day, and when the dust does settle, it's a 2-for-1 trade. Yeah, they got down the Apo Ninja Tinker, but they had to lose their Thug, Invoker, and their Shadow Demon for it.
Yep, so it ends up being more favorable for Power Rangers in the end. It's just the fact they initiated on the Invoker and he didn't get his spells out. That's a really big deal, because between Orchid, between the Tornado EMP, like, this is a really powerful hero for shutting down Power Rangers initiation and minimizing their potential to take a fight. But I wouldn't say it's an understatement to say this game is on Thug. Like, if Finem can win this game, it's on Thug making some amazing plays in the Invoker. We know he's capable of it, but so far he's been caught out enough times, he's been put out under enough pressure that we really haven't seen these big plays from him. If he can step it up, if he can find the openings and enable his team, like, I feel like Finem can bring it back. But for right now, you got a Faceless Void without a Blink Dagger. You've got an Invoker who's just not getting his full arsenal out. And as such, Power Rangers are just taking every exchange. And soon enough, it'll be E-Blade time, it'll be Dagon time, and heads are going to start rolling.
With an Aether Lens now complete on the Tinker, and you expect that E-Blade to be coming out for someone like the Morphling, does the Tinker just go for something like the Ags and just be a real pain in the ass with the laser, or does he still also offer burst?
Actually, don't think this is as much of an Ags game as most games. Ags is still a great item on Tinker, but I'd actually prefer to see Dagon 5. Like, you could get Ags later if you want, if you feel like there's heavy siege pressure coming in and you want 4 heat-seeking missiles going out constantly, great. But I actually think Dagon, just burst down a single specific target when they're E-bladed or when they're Broil Striked and go from there. They already have the natural order enhancement from the Elder Titan for it.
We'll see if they decide to go for the double burst pass. Meanwhile, as they push it for Material 1, they take Madara out of the game just as fast as he wanted to be here to play it. Meanwhile, Big Num, confidently striding on in, is going to be forced to hit his own self-ghost as the Earth Splitter does fly through behind him. Nice glimpse back will pull Skylark right back and under the tower and allow PR to be able to get that finish to go down for Finem. Make it 3 with the takedown of that Shadow Demon. Looking to stand and fight is Spartan, but it's going to be under a Static Storm. He also goes down, and the big guy to benefit from it all is going to be Big Num, securing himself an extra couple of kills. He's 9, 4, and 11 on the Morphling. Tier 1 is theirs, and Roche is up. Cheshire Cat will spot it out, but it does not look like it's going to be on the agenda for them at the moment, and that's fine. Again, they can continue to just coast through this game because things are on the up and up.
Yeah, I mean, even taking that bottom tier 1 is more than they need at this stage of the game. They could absolutely just be playing full passive, let Finem come to them, respond, deal with it, and just keep farming and focusing on farm. But what they end up doing is doing something proactive that Finem just get outmatched by. I feel like in that fight, it was just about spell execution. They were able to coordinate their targets really well. They were able to make the jumps they needed to. Obviously, the Madara just got completely caught off guard. They knew which spell they wanted to pop Lincoln's, and then they followed up with Broil Strike immediately and lay into him with everything from there. So really just great combo burst. Taking a Void out of the fight like that makes the situation almost insalvageable. And suddenly, Finem shaking because the situation goes from bad to worse. And they're already down 1 game.
Does look like we will be seeing the Agnem Scepter actually come out for Apo Ninja. The only reason I was a bit percolated by it is, yeah, it offers a lot of great deep push, and it adds a lot of rockets. Rockets could cancel Blink Daggers, let's say. Oh, mid lane. Skylark will be saved. But man, he almost just got... That was almost a quick hit and run. Casual Earth Splitter down the middle, hoping to get the snipe. Not going to be the case. But, you know, the laser could just be such a real pain in the ass here for Finem. He gets off 1 casual shot from afar with the help of that Aether Lens, and now you have a Faceless Void who's not going to be committing too much in the right-click department. You know, Invoker's not going to be able to trigger off too many cold snaps. Yeah, I mean,
with the alacrity factor, I would say that you have 2 major right-clickers on the side of Finem. Other than that, you're really looking at the illusions spawned either on the Morphling from the Shadow Demon or just through the wall replica, and you could laser the hell out of that. That'd be fine, but...
Blue Call, unfortunately, just what looks like an inch or so off the mark.
I'll stick with my guns and say that I think that at least Dagon 1 is still a little bit better, but in the end, the Aghanim still is a cookie-cutter build now for Tinker for a reason. It adds a lot to the hero.
I wanted him to just pull off another YouTube video, just get that Yules and see who can toss up in the air for the rest of the game. My vote's on Spartan, but nonetheless, right now, he's going to be making this Ags work. And just as fast as they're looking to kind of collide here in the bottom lane, he's paying tabs to the top lane and making sure the momentum's going forward. And as Thug shows himself in the lane, trying to get the tornado off. They make a spot and they make a jump. Madara's going to be forced to step in. Both him and Skylark get off a nice wall and a chrono combo here. Stack Storm is there to try to defuse. He will end up going down. A 1-for-1 trade right now. And then Finem are going to be forced to backpedal a bit. There's Cheshire Cat making the jump for the Shadow Demon with the assistance coming up from Apo Ninja, blinking in. They will be able to get that burst. On the other side, it's Goddamn who's going to be swung on. Spartan helps get the dunk for that. Him and Madara going to work here, but now the numbers have changed. Cheshire Cat hides and waits through the trees while Big Num continues to go to work, locking Spartan in the corner. Madara's going to be forced to step in. Bashes are coming through. But there's going to be the mighty Cheshire Cap Eddie Semper, who is going to be able to get the finish onto the Elder Titan. Goes back again for Spartan. Spartan gets off some nice little spins. It will help keep him alive in that corner. But ultimately, the Caustic Finale comes through in the grave for Cheshire Cat. An absolute rumble in the jungle here in the bottom lane. But with Apo Ninja still living on, Cheshire Cat, or not Cheshire Cat, PR will be still in a very nice position. They don't lose Big Num. They don't lose Afro Ninja.
I still think the tail end of that fight was a bad decision to go in from Power Rangers. The Sand King's like, okay, he was acting like he had an Aghanims before he had Aghanims, and he only actually hit one hero in the stun. Along with that, the Morphling was actually almost like, he was 90% strength and 10% agi. So he was already hyper on the defense. He didn't have a lot of damage to bring. So, and the Tinker was pretty low on mana. So when they made that call to keep going on it, you saw that nobody was dying for quite a long time because there's a lot of stun duration, but nobody's actually dealing the damage. So if the Morphling was like half agi, half strength, maybe that's the right play, but the tail end of that was actually pretty bad, and it was because Big Num was so defensive in that fight. So in the end, they still, again, are fine with these kinds of exchanges. Finem need to win a fight really convincingly to start bringing this game back, but I will argue that that last bit of the fight could have been avoided.
I still don't see a big opportunity for Finem to even make some pressure onto these tier 2s unless it comes after a dramatic win of a fight. In the meantime, though, PR, they smoke. They look like they're heading for the Roche. Cheshire Cat will kind of pre-scout ahead of time, forcing himself up and over here.
I don't think you get this. Yeah, he's gone.
They're not going to get the grab. Thug goes into Ghost Walk. Stun will be off its mark. Very close here by PR, almost at risk of getting caught out by Finem. But here goes the missiles beginning to fly. The March of the Machines will stop Finem from pursuing. And PR will miss that one. 32-20 at only 30 minutes in, or 32 minutes in. And the net worth graph not so out of control quite yet for PR. So got to give some credit to Finem considering all the pressure that's been beginning to mount up and build their way. It's only a 2.5K net worth advantage right now for the Radiant side. So back to kind of getting their bearings. Finem will just kind of reset the lanes. But PR definitely have the advantage in that department on keeping the pressure forward. Looks like Tinker has been able to put together about 2K of gold since the pickup of his Agnum Scepter, so we'll see if he opts to go into that heavy burst department of the Dagon next.
I see no reason not to. It's just such a good way to finish off a target really quickly. You've got max natural order, you've got Ethereal Blade. That Dagon is worth almost double of what it would be on normal hero when you factor in the rearm as well.
Oh, they're trying to find Skylark and they will not spot him out. Stuns come a bit too late. And he's able to blink his way into the trees and just barely make it back to safety.
The only alternative would be like if you really are worried about the axe initiation, then you can quick Hex or Yules him when he jumps in. Those are good, but I think damage over disable, you've got plenty of that. Oh, Atho's actually silenced. He's cold snapped. He's actually going to get caught out here. Yeah. A lot of comeback gold coming in here as 473 will go to Thug and a chunk of change as well for Spartan.
And he's making his way towards his own personal Agnum Scepter. Already had the point booster, but now sports about 1,500 gold with the assistance of that pickoff. Afro Ninja needs to be a bit cautious and careful about these side lane pushes.
Yeah, that was an 800 gold kill. Axe got quite a bit too, 300. So very, very nice find there from the Invoker. He is capable of that with spells like Tornado, but more so you got to point to the Anti-Tinker Ward that's on the top of the map.
Named after that hero, of course. And for that very reason alone, you could see the feisty shenanigans that...
you remember that patch, by the way, that Tinker really started just being full-on meta? It was...
yeah, like composite damage was there.
Yeah,
you're farming
Excalibur.
Ancients,
it was when Excalibur started standing in for Fnatic, and, you know, they just picked a really high MMR player, and... okay, Cheshire Cat, that might have been one of the worst burrows I've ever seen, and he probably will die for it.
Let's see. Gets the Yules off, tries to run. Madar looks to make chase here. He gets a burrow, but I don't know, J4 trying to help him out with a Static Storm. Sandstorm! He's running! They're going to get him. Madar says, don't get away from me! Jumps in, gets the chrono, makes J4 pay for it as well, and then a follow-up kill looks like forgot him. Can they get him? Yes,
he's blinded, he's blinded!
He can't swing yet, he's got to wait for it. Finally we'll be able to bring him down, but he loses his own life for it. So bloodthirsty is Finem.
In the meantime, the Morphling did get caught out there. He's pinging himself out, and there is a gem as well in the tree line here. I'm really curious what ended up happening to the Morphling that knocked him down so hard. It looked like he just got isolated and silenced by the Invoker.
Axe was also right there, so I suppose some big hitting damage, some forgiving spins or something. Able to get the finish.
Yeah, Orchid did 300 damage, so he just got it cut out. He wasn't morphing strength. Oh, he was morphing strength. They actually burst him through that thanks to Culling Blade and Orchid.
Cheshire Cat back in lane now. Gets spotted out. Has to Yules himself. Secondary tornado throw. Thug moves in with the Orchid play, but now Apo Ninja is going to be back. Apo Ninja, man. Fingers are going to be cramping this game.
Yeah, so the Blade Mail, the Orchid, and just some really good spins along with the call was just enough to take this hero down. He might be top of net worth, but he still can be vulnerable if he's not playing well enough with his agility or strength. He got 127 base strength by the end of his death, but yeah, it could have been a closer call. I don't know. Either way, some kind of crazy space creation happening through the Faceless Void. Like the Sand King messes up his Burrow Strike. Madara just goes YOLO and just drops the Chrono on him, gets 2 kills out of it, and they kill the Morphic on the back line.
They're dropping like static storms in hopes that they get that last second save and zone them back and lock them in. It's, again, as I said before, a bit of a hot mess in the bottom lane. Pretty much through this game too. Entertaining hot mess, though, I will give it that.
Yeah, I just like to time lapse it, just see all the heroes going in and out and dying, and it's just a bloodbath.
It's Roche time here for both teams as they continue to scout it on out. Cheshire Cat waiting towards the high ground while Thug will scout it with the Sunstrike here. Looks like Skylark has caught himself under a bit of a static storm, which he'll walk back and away from. Jumping from Spartan, looking to lock down Apo Ninja. Caught a bit of a hot mess. Tries to bounce off the laser from the remaining creep. Earth Splitter down. We'll be able to get the connection
Epicenter.
here. 4, and then the self-takedown. Epicenter from Cheshire Cat. He tries to scoot himself into a better position to make some strong use out of it, but looks like Finem are already heading themselves out the back inside. Spartan gets caught up with the stun. Spartan wants to make chase. Meanwhile, Madara gets off a nice Chronosphere. Looking to get the finish. Forgotten will be able to get him done. Cheshire Cat still under pressure from Spartan, while on the other side, Apo Ninja is back. Begins to unload. Look at the lasers go. The blind is there, and Big Num is looking to make a retreat. They vacuum back into a wall, but can't get the finish yet. Now the rockets begin to fly. Sunstrike forced forward. Morphling still good.
Not for long.
But there's going to be the tornado. There's going to be the lockdown. The dunk is going to get Lincoln's off. Frickin' side shop. Blocking the death right there, but it doesn't matter. They get what they need. Big Num goes down. But my God, Finem have to sweat it out for every kill, it feels like.
Yeah, but still they're getting them. That's the big thing. They're killing these big, high-priority targets there. And I got to say that Gotham played that fight really well. That 2-man sleep, the set up a Burrow Strike, we gave enough time for Tika to reset. He was down below half HP with a Demonic Purge on him, and they would have kept going. But the sleep comes out. It gives time for Tika to head back for a quick bathe in the well. He's able to come back full arsenal and do a lot of damage back the other way. So the fight salvaged a little bit by the Elder Titan, but in the end, he and Morphling both drop, and now Roshan will be claimed by the Dire. That Alacrity is actually a really big deal because Madara has built so tanky. Manta, Lincoln's, and now finally Diffusal. Like, he has been such a tanky hero, but not putting out enough damage, mostly utility. Now with Alacrity, he's able to attack so quickly that he gets time lock after time lock, and he even gets a little bit of bonus damage now that you've got 5 points in Exort for the Invoker.
Yeah, plus Soul Catcher will add on top of that too. Anything they can to amplify the damage output here from Madara certainly be welcomed from Finem. And now after picking up that Aegis, rolling down the mid lane, looking to breach, looking to take their first tier 2 if possible.
Oh, the second snipe from the Skylark Darkseer.
Wow.
How often does a Darkseer snipe 2 couriers in a game?
Karate chops ahoy here, and the courier goes down for the 3rd time this game on the side of PR. And now a tier 2 will be dropped. Finem feeling a swing of momentum, and Kai P watching from the sidelines feeling a bit more happy that their life in the BTS Europe Series can still hold on, possibly, if AF can close out with a win here.
Otherwise, it's going to be a very tough one to climb. I think that if actually PR are able to take this game, then Finem can't lose any more games the rest of the group stage.
Nope.
That's really tough.
But for now, still holding strong here and taking the net worth right back their way. PR begin to take their own stride now, casually down this mid lane. Looking at some of the new items beginning to trickle in here. Badari going more into the damage department with his own Demon Edge, while on the other side, the other big hitter here, Big Num. Ogre Club, possible BKB, shotgun shot onto Spartan. He wants to reflect back a bit of that damage, but oh, they get a glimpse, they get a static. Ah, that quick blink out.
The pipe actually blocked it so he could blink away. That normally wouldn't happen.
Very true. And now it's Finem considering an opportunity to look to make some chase here. It is going to be Madara who does get that first critical hit in, taking out little J4. And the rest of PR are out. They have totally evacuated the area and heading back into their own personal farm. Cute little play by Spartan to avoid the static storm tick.
And Tinker denies a single tower, and Morphling takes one for themselves. So across the board, more net worth shifting in favor of PR, even though the Disruptor does get taken. Yeah, it's becoming a very interesting game because the net worth is actually not too bad for Advenom, but King.
2 spins.
Looks like he's
Spartan's
dead.
looking for the setup. Skylark's there to kind of back him up. Gets the vacuum pullback.
If he had an Aghanims, I think he would have lived because of the range of the burrow, but here he's just caught out too far from home.
Scorpion Salad served up right now as Spartan is the chop man. We'll be able to put him down, and Finem continue to trick together a couple of pickoffs here. Definitely causing a bit of an uneasy feeling here for PR when they continue to try to split out these other lanes, making up for the pressure that could be coming their way through the top lane. After Ninja moves out and creates a lot of pressure back on the bottom side. But now it's Tier 2. Eating some pot shots here from Madara while Tinker's trying to fake him with a couple of TPs. He's not falling for that.
Yeah, it's a freebie in the end. We're actually going to see a very deep dive. Spartan, what are you doing?
Where is he? I didn't even know he went so deep. I had to chase the camera all the way back inside. He's trying to make his way back out now, and it looks like they'll be fine. Rocket's coming out. Finem. Go back in one more time. Spartan looks to go for the pullback here onto Got him. And now with Madara going in even deeper, looking to go for Apo Ninja. Not going to be able to get him, but does get the follow-up. Takes down J4, and now they double back. Big Dumb, who committed in, looking to get the backliners, is able to quickly take down the Invoker. They get Madara, they get the first life. PR looking pretty good for an ability to be able to hold. Madara jumps up and out. That stop is nowhere near the mark, but it doesn't matter. Madara walks back and away here. He gives him the surge. Oh! Turns back with the Manta. Instantly just takes down the Elder Titan. Big Numb obviously will be able to jump back and away here, but my God, Madara hits like a freaking truck, man.
I can't believe my eyes, dude. I mean, in a game of this level of tension where Advenom feel like they can't make any mistakes, Skylark with Balls of Steel is blindly blinking into the base, going for calls here. I mean, they have actually a small trickle of vision. If you look at Dire Vision through one ward, you get like 2 little tiny spots where you might have been able to just catch a glimpse of the Disruptor right over here, but just going in for it, man. This guy is just absolutely fearless, but in the end, it actually leads his team into a bad fight, and you got to be pointing the blame at him in this instance. So it's tough. I mean, sometimes you can make that kind of a play, and you are the MVP. You get all the highlight reels top of Reddit, and sometimes you just feed your entire team away.
That's Finem though, man. A team that does a lot of those high risk but high reward kind of a play, where their opponent's not even expecting it. Like, no, surely they're not going to be doing such and such, right? Now, Finem would be that team to do it.
Definitely.
And look at the rewards that they've been able to get from it. It's got them pretty much up to an advantage, if not just a neck-and-neck kind of a position. PR, though, getting some forgiving time now to kind of recover and farm up as they do kind of stall things out a little bit here. We'll look at some of the item advancements and, you know, big elements coming together here for Finem.
It's really tough to gauge the state of the game on net worth alone because, like, there are so many different factors that go into how the next fights can play out, and net worth is certainly one of them, but we'll actually see the initiation on Invoker.
Yeah, and they will quickly take out Thug. Cheshire Cat sweeping in, gets the Yules out. There's the first Dagon. That's going to be a pullback with the Glimpse, and that will also be the takedown of maybe next time. Finem quickly just stuck with 3, and there is no buyback here on this Invoker for 70 seconds, and PR are already here out the front door.
Yeah, and one of those factors is simply initiation. If Cheshire Cat can find the openings that he found in throughout this game and in the game prior, it's going to be easy for them to get back into this one.
Jump in call. While behind, Skylark looking to go for some backline action. Gets the vacuum wall. ER simply reevaluate. Big Num will be able to get his life back and go right back into the grind. Another jump in call for Spartan. Tries to drag him back and inside. There's the play from Madara. Jumping in, looks to go for Cheshire Cat. Will easily be able to take him down. And looks to go for Big Num next, but Big Num obviously a bigger boy. They move in. Think it's going to be popped. Looking to go to more defusals to slow him down.
I really don't think they can take down Big Num. Another call could set it up, but Madara's already taken way too much damage. Will time walk away just narrowly, but Spartan's already such a low HP value that he can't really help his teammate out.
Madara eats the Dagon. Jumps back, time walks away, they get the Glimpse, they pull him back in. Maybe next time doing all he can to help out. Slows down Big Num, gets off the disruption here. And Skylark now going to be there And Big Num's going to be forced to BKB wave, and no, they got him with the call. He's not going to be TPing out. They spot him out with a Sunstrike, and they look to finish him off, and boom, pause.
I'm going to go ahead and take this pause to go ahead and pull up the combat log and hit target Tinker, and let's look at how much damage his Bloodstone just did to him.
Target Tinker.
Refresh.
Refresh.
And you've got a 1380 HP hero that just suicided.
Wait, what?
He just killed himself when he had 1400 HP. He may be a Yule's mastermind, but he may be fat fingering a few buttons here.
Oh, he must have thought there was something else
I think
in
he
that
swapped
spot.
it. He had Bloodstone in the top right, and he swapped it with Ether Lens. Maybe he, I don't know, clicked on the ground. I can't tell you, but he's dead.
No. Very
and Big Num's dead with him.
And Big Num's there. He gets caught under. Trying to back out with a BKB TP. Not going to be happening in the Book of Spartan. As he jumps in and gets a wonderful call. Whoa.
Oh, that is brutal. I mean, that happens, as many things do, but holy crap, that is such a critical moment to lose your Tinker from 14. I mean, he was over half HP. Maybe he was just getting out of a stun. I don't know, but he was just spamming his keys. Suicides on the ground, and while that might be nice to heal somebody up, in the end, they needed a Tinker, not a little bit of health. So they lose them. We're playing 2 big pickups coming in. Of course, they don't get the gold from the Tinker, but still, Finem able to easily route them from the Dire side.
Oh boy, Finem now.
Oh, they got the jump on top lane too. Afo just TP'd to the lane, and they'll pop everything they can to try to bring him down. And we need just 5 minutes to figure out exactly what's going on here.
Oh god, of course they do. How convenient.
I assume the only response here is just a suicide on the ground again. This time intentionally.
All those charges just gone. That's a hard hit to take if you're PR, if you're Afo Ninja. That's just crazy. But I gotta see it. I know. We can watch it here now. Did he already die? He did. Dang. I wanted to see if I can catch a replay of his self-suicide, but fortunately it's at the 1 pause. Oh my god. What a ridiculous game. And remember what's at stake here. You know, Finem win this, then KotLGuy are technically still in the running to be able to put themselves into a tiebreaker situation for this particular group. If Finem do lose this, then it's pressure on Finem to pretty much win every game here moving forward. PR want to win because obviously that puts them up into the pretty much the top position, and will eliminate some of the other teams at risk of moving forward. Only 1 team from each group will be moving on into the playoff bracket, which will be 4 teams total, single elimination, and of course all for the $5,000 prize pool here. So should be a good time happening for the next couple of days, and there is other Dota games happening right now, if I'm not mistaken. We have happening over on BTS 2. It looks like Escape Gaming. Who are they going against? Who didn't tag up?
That is Yellow Submarine.
Yellow Submarine. They didn't tag up apparently, but they are going toe-to-toe right now. I believe Annie's bringing that cast, so you can head over to Beyond the Summit 2 if you want to see some other European Dota action that is happening for this tournament at this moment, while we do continue to wait over here for PR to get back into the game. My lord. They didn't actually give the reason, huh?
Yeah,
just
I got to do some admin work. One of them had
right.
some technical issues, so I am technically the admin for this game.
But
But it seems that there are some technical malfunctions that they need to deal with. Is that a good enough reason to Bloodstone suicide? Is that it? The mouse keys? Just hotkey switched up?
Yeah, that would be unfortunate from his perspective if it's like the whole game froze and he was just like spamming out anything he could, and then it just catches up or rubber bands up and oh, you're dead.
Generally speaking, if my monitor dies or if I'm just in any way panicking to spam buttons, the last button I want to hit is my Bloodstone. Oh, it's tough. It really is. But we have some people reconnect again, so hopefully we'll be able to get back into the game shortly and move on to the next one. The next game will be coming up immediately thereafter. It's going to be Vega versus Broodmothers. I'll be seeing that in just a little bit here, guys.
Yeah, on this channel, another 3 full 2-game series to kind of chunk on in. What day do playoffs actually begin?
That'll be Saturday.
Saturday. It starts playoff action.
Mm-hmm. And that'll be the top one from each one of these groups right now. Obviously, Power Rangers are looking pretty good, but They need one more win to essentially lynch it. If they take down Adfinem 2-0, I think they're just guaranteed the top of the group at this point because they have faced Elements and Kaipi already. This will be their last match and already have 4 points on the board, counting the previous game.
Has Level Up already played in this tournament? That's Waga's team. I was been very curious to see how they're doing.
Yeah, I'm curious how they're going to perform, but they did have to postpone a couple of their games. So while we have one coming up on BTS 2, as soon as Escape Yellow Sub is done, we will have the other ones actually delayed until Friday. So check out Wagamama's new team. They've been scrimming a lot, but I don't think they've played any officials. So
I think they played at least one in Pro Dota. They did win. I want to say they might have won
they were actually in the at least the first phase of the cup when we did the invites. So in the end, should be pretty exciting to see what they're bringing to the table.
But still here, PR versus AF for BTS1. We wait for the return of PR here in a game that had been a ridiculous bloodbath here. You're talking about 41-33 at just about 47 minutes into this game. Does look like PR are back now. Cheshire Cat given the G. G's are returned, and we're going to have a ball game here. So where do we leave off? Tinker in a very suspect position, and the top lane will be dropped down once again. He was able to get the suicide off, so he loses another chunk of his charges coming after what suspect to be a self-early suicide just before that. PR in a bit of an awkward spot, and Adfinem quickly go back to the grind of farm right now, but confidence is on their side. After a long timeout, we'll see how much motivation and momentum is still behind them, but do you think they're still a team in more of the power position, or PR still got opportunities to kind of coast and farm up here? There's just so many misfires that I don't know where their heads are.
Yeah, it's hard to say mentally where they're at right now, and obviously Adfinem lead in terms of net worth and experience, but I feel like just simply the draft, Power Rangers still have the stronger heroes. They were able to do that earlier, and I feel like even now, like the Alchemist game, they had a better draft. This game with the Morphling, the Sand and everything. Like, if you try to fight this team in choke points, generally speaking, you're going to lose because the strength of the ability to go for your Echo Stomps and your Burrow Strikes and all these different factors. But, you know, when you're support Elder Titan Pixel and Mask of Madness, I don't really know what to think.
Yeah, whatever, you know. Mask of Madness. You got to get there faster one way or another.
I mean, if you activate it, you actually, this could be like the next level thing. You activate Mask of Madness, your Astral Spirit extends based on your movement speed. So that's why Tranquil and Windlace is the core of a non-carry Elder Titan. Sometimes you phase boots on the carries. But when you're a support Elder Titan, Mask of Madness, you might be able to get the fastest spirit alive to be able to get that big stomp out.
Okay, Spartan possibly caught in the middle of this one, as looks like Madara makes his own approach. Gets caught under a bit of a static storm. We'll have to double back while Big Num looks to make chase. Epicenter only going to be here for Skylark. All the meanwhile, Madara will be able to get the catch up and the finish onto Disruptor. Steps back. Big Num caught under the Chrono. The meatball above. Madara eating a lot of damage. Beautiful stomp was there, and he'll be going down. Big Num muscles his way through it all with a huge burst of strength. He will be able to waveform and make it away from trouble, but Madara, he's bought back. He's got to get the most out of this situation, but PR are hasty to retreat, and it looks like they may avoid everything altogether. Dilation will be there for goddamn, but okay, they're going to move in for it. Skylark wants it. Cheshire Cat's thinking about a way to maybe help out, and they're not going to make chase here. Swing and a miss on this opportunity here for Adfinem. PR will be able to make it away from the trouble.
And that's going to be it here, as we do see it wrap up, and Adfinem make their move towards Roshan. We will also mention that the Invoker had just recently picked up his Aghanim Scepter, and with him being this high of a level 22, he now gets the AoE Deafening Blast with a 4-second disarm duration. So very, very important if he's trying to limit how much damage Morphle can do in the fights.
Eyes on the new Roche, though. Adfinem are already in there going to work. PR en route, but it don't matter. Just as fast as they start, they take it down. Madara is going to be the one to hold the extra life now on his Faceless Void.
And here I am showing my age on how long it's been since I really played Invoker consistently. That thing has been buffed up with the Aghanim Scepter to 6.5 seconds of disarm duration. That's absurd. A hero can't hit for 6.5 seconds as a hard carry unless he BKBs. That is something else.
Fun hero, really. We'll have to see how much they'll be able to utilize out of that one. Another pause, guys? Really? All right, so it looks like the Adfinem group is going to go ahead and need a moment here. So we'll take a bit of a breather and a bit of a reset to see exactly where we do stand. 42-34, 50 minutes in. We really haven't been able to see too much advancement since the last pause, but it looks like this pause will not be too much longer here. So PR move back in, and Big Num is right back into his own farm. It looks like a Scotty could be set for him in the near future, as we already have that Orb of Venom waiting in his stash. Has some money for some ultimate orbs, but obviously you want to be nursing a bit of that money for a buyback. Here comes the Epi, a jump in play, all for Thug, and that topped together with the Afro Ninja burst of that Dagon will allow them to get the sweet pick. Quickly at Finem, rushing in to see if they can get any sort of catch. Madara sidesteps, moves over and away from the Static Storm. He will jump in, gets his own chrono off. Not going to be able to make it away from that one. Cheshire Cat can't burrow too far enough. They won't be able to bring down two. A buyback comes out from Madara. The Dagons, the lasers, they all begin to fly, and they won't be able to get the burst. Madara goes down, loses his first life. Afro Ninja gets called out, gets brought back, and then gets hammered home, all by Madara. And with this, Finem take the names of 4 and now bring the momentum down from above through the northern part of this lane. The perseverance was ridiculous. A clutch buyback too allows Finem to get in a very confident, strong position. Now there are 3 buybacks available here for PR to hold, and they might need to start using them. As you can see already, the Sand King one will come out. 3 seconds for the Epi. It will be available for the hold, but you know, no Tinker here, no marches already being laid out, and it looks like he wants to hold that buyback if possible, even if that means losing a tier 3. But the sieging capability here from Finem isn't the greatest. They have to keep a lot of their backup support far and away, but they will be able to at least secure that tier 3. And with those winnings, Finem will pull back and out and give themselves a little bit of a surplus. So at the end of the day, a jump in from PR leads to success as they get a good commanding takedown of Thug in the top lane with a big epicenter, but that response from Finem, a buyback from the Invoker, the pursuit from Madara allows them to take down 4, move down from the top lane, and take out that mid lane tier 3. So Finem, really with that never say die attitude of, again, force PR in a position where they were not expecting to be with this Morphling Tinker get up, confined within their base walls. How has this happened?
Yeah,
ridiculous.
A lot of pressure, a lot of great warding coming out from the side of Finem. I mean, they've got now one really good aggressive ward towards the mid lane, an anti-Tinker ward towards the top lane, where I think Tinker is probably most likely to be. If he's not pushing out bottom, he's going to be exactly under the vision provided here, and this is going to create opportunities for Finem to really seal the deal on this one. Like, yeah, they're going up against heroes that are becoming harder and harder to kill and fight against, but they're finding the angles, and yeah, maybe they want to wait for their buyback cooldowns. The Void, the Invoker, both need to get that back up, but right now it's actually looking really possible that Finem can bring this back.
A little bit of a footsie play here between both Spartan and Cheshire Cat. Offlaners trade a couple of moves, and then we'll be able to kind of scamper away. As very, very cautious here. PR not really feeling too comfortable getting close to the river at the moment. Anticipating that Finem could be keeping a close and watchful eye. And with how many times they've been able to kind of get that quick surprise attack onto PR, I think they may have learned their lesson. So, Finem, that next big hurrah momentum might have to work a little bit harder for it. We'll have to wait and see. PR moving as a group now, just slowly, casually farming up here. But it's eyes on Finem.
Absolutely. I mean, they've got a lot at their disposal right now. Even the Darkseer sitting here has Hex and 4,600 gold with a 2,300 surplus. He's going to actually go for the plate mail here and look for that Shiva's guard. They really just need to be able to put out a lot of quick damage in the fights, get that axe rolling. He's got the blade mail, he's got the Lotus. He's going to be the one to want to jump in, and they need some follow through. I can tell you what, though, this isn't the same game that we saw, like bottom lane, Darkseer axe going at it. Like that was maybe 45 minutes ago, and
yeah,
it feels like such a different situation now. It's not like you can just dive in like crazy and use your overwhelming early damage output to really propel the team forward. You really have to be very calculated in each move that you make at this point in the game.
New chapter upon us now. One that seems a lot more strategic and a bit more tactical than kind of the rumble we were having before. We see the approach from both teams now, probably looking to stall things out. I don't know if this means all the way away to the Roche period here, or maybe just kind of getting those couple of extra items online, though. It looks like for the most part, FNM have gotten what they needed together. Might be gathering up for a possible smoke play and go on their move.
10-second BKB on the Faceless Void. His buyback is cooling down in 15 seconds. He is actually in a great position to carry the team on shoulders despite everything he's been up against. The MKB is, I don't know if you mentioned it, but it is a very key pickup against a Tinker, especially an Agadam's Tinker, because that is a 100% blind, not a disarm, which means that Monkey King Bar will allow him to attack in spite of it.
Yep. That would be a critical tool. And, well, here comes PR now. It's been a while since we've been able to see them kind of move as a full unit here. And they're looking to make an approach here towards the bottom lane. And it's funny to see that where they were in a position for the majority of this game where they could have coasted and kind of go into autopilot here. It's now them who have to kind of take things very cautiously. Here comes Finem, man. Already rolling in, and look at who they got. He spotted out Big Num, jumping while he's farming out the camp right now. And is he going to be able to make it back away? It looks like he has, but now it's right into a tornado. Still, he'll be good. While on the other side, I totally missed the mark on that one. There is going to be the Chrono connection here from Madar. They will get the finish onto the precious little disruptor. They're looking for goddamn 2. Madar should be able to get it here. Will be close enough. The chop comes in from Skylark. He helps seal the deal. All lit in from a nice little jump for the Morph.
Now they're going to have to buy back fairly early on this Elder Titan, and obviously just wait it out while the Disruptor comes back in. His ultimate cooldown is 40 seconds, so it's probably going to be in sync with his death timer anyway. That's not the biggest thing. The biggest thing is just getting a good stomp and getting a good delay of game so that they have everything they need to take the next fight.
Not going to be easy, though, for FNM to move in. As you can see, the marches begin to fly out, and PR will do everything they can to pull out the stops.
I am actually really digging this Elder Titan Mask of Madness, though. I actually might try it out for myself, because when you look at it, whenever he really needs to get a big stomp out, he pops his bomb, and what it gets is a 490 movement speed Spirit. So it's moving about. It's really easy to find the stomp in the right position, and it's really hard for Finem to dive away from it. So it's actually very, very critical, and something I haven't seen before. It's kind of like when Bat Rider was kind of going the Mask of Madness Boots of Travel build to get a better speed on his lasso. It's the same idea, but with a lot less risk.
Definitely a interesting item corp. For me being personally not a big Elder Titan player, I definitely see where you're coming from. And if you were not here, I would have saw that and been like, I don't know what the hell is happening right now.
Now, the only way it can be better right now is with an Ether Lens. Like, if you get an Ether Lens on your Tranquil, Windlace, Mask of Madness, Elder Titan, you'll hit every physically possible stomp.
Uh-oh, Madara spots out Apo Ninja at the secret shop. Will pop his BKB
Oh,
as Storm comes in, and what a beautiful snipe there from Thug, landing out the Sunstrike right around the corner. And then Madara says, you want to come? I'll bring it. Moves in with a Chrono, goes right for J4. Will be able to get that taken. Now they look for more. Big Num looking to stand and fight, pops his BKB and begins to unload here for Skylark. Cheshire Cat comes in from the back lines, popping out the big epicenter, and then Thornton jumps in, gets the call, looking to bring down Big Num. Can they get it done? For now, he F-plays himself, pulls back and away, and looks like he will be able to live on. Jumping from Thug will be a bit off the mark with the tornado catch. Apo Ninja, though, high on the side. He's going to be in trouble, and he's going to be down for good if he does get dropped. Nearly 2 minutes on the sidelines, out of the game. Finem. Now they'll have to worry about the wall of marches, the wall of trouble, and they can begin to ascend.
He sold an accursed Bloodstone for his Scythe of Vice, and in the end, now he has the longest possible death time here at 90 seconds. Some great E-Blade play coming out for Big Num on the Morphling, but a Sunstrike snipe and just great follow-through. They're able to take it in spite of it. Now, breaking down the top lane of Rax, Finem are actually closing this game out.
That's the Rax to go down here. They'll take the safer bet, get the easy melee. They'll leave Thug behind to kind of finish up what they'd started. They will be able to clear out both now. Jump in on Madara, a big shot. He time walks it off, and then will quickly get disrupted for an extra bit of safety. Thug not going to be able to get the catch with that deafening blast, as Big Num will be able to jump back and away, but right to the mid lane Rax they go.
Oh no!
PR need to do all they can to stop him, but they're throwing their own lives out, trying their best to stop the roll of Finem. They don't seem to be able to do it. Big Num just happily waveforms right on in, knowing that he has to pull out any sort of stops. but now down 2 sets of racks. Finem feeling the taste of victory here. Segueing now all the way to the bottom. Tinker not able to even have a say in the matter at all. Big Num with a final bit of stops will be losing his first life under the vacuum combo from Thug. And that's going to be a tier 3 down. Mega's now potentially set to come out. The game to be clinched here from Finem. They get the chrono onto Big Num. He'll try to morph into strength, but it's not going to matter. It looks like he goes down with an emphatic chop and a beheading. It is over. Finem will take game number 2 and tie the series up 1-1.
Such a critical win for Finem too, because this means that they are still very clearly in contention for the playoffs. It's all on the rest of their run. Since this is their first match, and Power Rangers, this was their last one, Finem now have a very clear idea of what scoreline they need to surpass them. At the very least, they have a clear path to getting a tiebreaker and another best of 1 probably on Friday. And for right now, they are able to even the score and make this a real fight here in the group. This has been just an incredible game of Dota 2. I mean, you look at the heroes, you look at how it's supposed to play out, and it feels like with just a couple of good initiations that would be extremely clear-cut in favor of the Radiant, in favor of Power Rangers. But just through over-execution, through really great teamfight performance, and finding out the Tinker just a few times, as well as one critical mistake from Ninja, they bring it home.
That was crazy. I mean, it's just like with all the action that broke out in that, the different chapter, like you can almost break this game down to different chapters with everything that happened. Finem's ridiculous pressure in the early game with the benefit of that Axe Darkseer combo. And then things began to come online for Power Rangers where they can kind of autopilot, but you got to watch it again if you're an Finem fan, because they pulled out all the stops to pull that one back, and because of it, they just really breathed new life into this group overall. KotLGuy gets to stay alive for a hopeful chance on tying things up. You already mentioned that now PR are going to be done, and they have to wait to see how well Finem are going to do, and eventually we'll have our answer on who's going to be moving off into the playoffs. So we're not going to be done yet. We got one more series ahead of us. It is going to be Broodmothers versus
Vega Squadron.
Thank you very much. And with that, we'll cut to a small break, and we'll be back with more European Dota action. I'm KotLGuy. That's Blaze. We'll see you soon.